Welcome everybody to Friday Review. What's your destination for your business? What's your end game? Quite funny actually, we were just talking about the new Avengers end game. What's your end game for your business? Where are you going with it? What's your goals? What are you going to do when you're finished with your business? So Andy's going to be talking to us today about how he plans and strategizes with business owners on working out their end game.
Well, interestingly, you should talk about endgame because actually in Infinity War, 50% of the population got wiped out. And isn't it interesting that in business, 80% get wiped out in the first 5 years and 80% of what's left get wiped out in the next 5.
That's right, yes.
Stats are actually better in Infinity War than they are in the end game of business. So the thing is, what's the cause of that?
Yeah.
Lewis has said start with the end in mind. I mean, most people actually climb onto the treadmill of their business and then forget about what they've done it for. And as a result, they forget to actually look into the distance and think about what it needs to look like when they plan to finish the business.
That's
you know,
right.
What does your business look like when it's finished?
Getting caught up in the day-to-day, it's very easy to lose that sight of why we started in the first place.
Absolutely. And many of us do start it with just that idea of more freedom, more time, more money. But most of us don't actually think about what does that business look like when it's finished. And as a result, you know, if we're not thinking about that, then we don't actually jump into the starting to plan and strategize the business. We just get consumed in the operational day-to-day, which means in the large part, we do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. So no wonder we end up in the mess that we get into.
That's right, yeah. So for business owners that you work with in coaching then, what's the number one thing? Where's the starting point then?
So starting point is, well, we call it the alignment, and the alignment is really about mapping out your personal goals. Because at the end of the day, the business is a vehicle for your life. Being in business should give you more life. So why wouldn't you start there by getting real clarity on what your goals are? You know, I was sat with a business owner this morning, and we were talking about where he wanted to be and essentially what his number was. You know, what number do you need to step out of this business, and what does it need to look like to give you that? And he couldn't answer the question because he'd never actually thought of it. Now, great business, making money, been in business for 20 years, but you could argue that plenty of opportunity, in fact we identified it this morning, plenty of opportunity if we were to start thinking about what it needs to look like at the end of its journey instead of what's happening today and tomorrow.
Yeah. So there's some good questions to start asking ourselves then really is where do we want to end up? What does our goals and our milestones need to look like? What do we need to be reaching week in, month in, yearly to get that end goal? I'm going to have a quick break now, guys. We'll catch you after the break.
How far are you going to take your business? The content you're learning in this video is only the tip of the iceberg. If you're ready to take your business to the next level and start implementing the right strategies that are right for you, then now is the time to book your complimentary coaching session. In the session, we explore what strategies will get you to where you want to be in the most effective way possible. Book your coaching session today. Call 01527 757 910 or visit goodtogreat.actioncoach.co.uk.
Welcome back, guys. We're talking about the destination. We're talking about your end game. And by the way, we're talking about end game because we're very excited that Avengers is coming out tomorrow. So we're a bit of a geeking out in the office today. So what is your end game? What does your end game look like? What's your 5-year goal? What's your 3-year goal? Andy's going to talk about that now, about how you can start with that end in mind and start working backwards.
Yeah, I mean, that's the key, isn't it? At the end of the day, we need to start thinking about where is our exit point from this business. You know, Michael Gerber said the only reason to build a business is to sell it. Now, that may be true, that may not necessarily be true. It depends what your goals and intentions are. But at the end of the day, at some point, it has to be a commercial, profitable enterprise that works without you. So when is that point, and what does it need to give you when you get there? That's absolutely key. So, you know, unless you're clear on that, then it's very difficult to know whether you're on track, isn't it? You know, how often do you actually get in the car and go for a drive with no clear destination? Now, the point is, if we compare that to what we do when we normally get in the car to go for a journey, we'll put the destination in our sat nav. So we've got a very clear destination. But if you think about that, you know, let's say this destination's 100 miles away. We know where it is, but we might have to take a different route to get there. So let's say the end destination 100 miles away is 5 years, let's say. Well, we should know what junction we want to get off at if it's a motorway. We should know what the next junction looks like just in case we have to get off. And let's say that's 1 year from now. You know, we might need to be clear on something that the junctions that happen in between 1 year and 5 years, because we might have to make a detour. Now, we might not be able to even see the next junction, but we've got a pretty clear idea of exactly where it is and how we get to it, because it's only a short distance away. We can probably see the next bridge, so let's say that's 90 days. So we can make a tactical plan to get to that next bridge because we can see the traffic. So for me, you know, thinking about that journey and how we get there, very clear tactical plan to the next bridge, very clear sight on where the next junction is, and then some vague idea of the destination in mind that we can get clearer on as we move towards it and we realise that the road's either clear or blocked in the way.
When you say destination, what are some of the destinations you've worked with business owners?
So some of them have been, you know, I want to get out and sell the business. Some of them have been, I want to make it work without me so I can pass it on to the next generation. Some have been to make the business work without them so they can go and buy other businesses to integrate and actually expand horizontally. I mean, it's very much a situation of personal goals, really, and that's what it should come back to. So the opportunities and the permutations are endless, aren't they, really? It's just, you know, what's in your mind. And if the answer is nothing, well, we get what we focus on.
Drop the mic.